boys and girls, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the Netflix film Ultraman Rising, which is the 44th film in the franchise. And I stress that because I have never heard of Ultraman. Never. I I never heard of it. I was coming into this blind. I was green. I didn't know anything about the character or what it's about. Nothing. But I was introduced to this film by my daughter, who is an anime nut, and she knows about it all. So I was basically held hostage to watch it. You know, and I was happy that she did. But this is a film that is based on a Japanese. It's kind of a Japanese American co-production. Netflix Animation and what is it? Saburaya Productions from Japan. They helped along with the animation style of Industrial Light and Magic. Brought this to life. This film dropped on Father's Day weekend on Netflix, and so I'm kind of late to the party here. Like I said, never heard of this, you know, and it was the perfect Father's Day film. Perfect Father's Day film. When we were discussing the movie after it went off, me and my girls, they were like, "Oh yeah, did you like it?" I love this movie, and it is the truth. I love this movie. I was not expecting to like this movie as much as I did, which prompted me to do a review for it, because I don't know if anybody else have heard of this film that's on Netflix or anything regarding Ultraman. Maybe I'm the odd man out, because there's 44 films in this franchise. I'm still blown away by this number. 44 films, and I have never heard of it. It's not like, okay, I don't want anything to do with that. I saw it and I was like, I don't want to see it. I've never seen this. I think in passing, maybe I saw something pop up about Ultraman or something to that effect, but it didn't gravitate to me, you know. But 44 films, and if you haven't heard of it, man, I'm doing my best for those of you who haven't, who are like me, naive, and don't know about this particular character. Check it out. Check it out. I give my daughter all the props for introducing me to this, to the point I want to go back and watch. I'm not going to say I watch all the other 43 films, but I want to look more into this character, because this is a very interesting character, very flawed character. This is a superhero film, and it's not your typical superhero. You know, it's not your, oh, get up and get 'em, you know, type of superhero. It's not Superman or Batman, Spider-Man, and all that there. Even though those characters have flaws, they have crises in their lives and stuff like that. But this is different. This character is different. You know, this character is grounded, I would say. And that's weird, being as though he grows into this giant this giant being that fights kaiju monsters. But it is a grounded character at its core. Ken Sento is the main character here. He is Ultraman. He's voiced in this film by Christopher Shane. And the way they introduce this character, as he's a professional baseball player, he's egotistical, he's a reluctant hero, he doesn't want to do this, he's basically taken over being Ultraman from his father, doing the job because I guess he feels he has no choice, you know, since his father can't hold the mantle anymore, and a lot of strife going on between him and his father. And, you know, it's a lot there. It's a lot there. This is where the character starts. And where the character ends is so satisfying. The relationship between him and his dad, the journey they go on from beginning to end, is so satisfying. The relationship, well, not so much the relationship, but the character development of Ken, from beginning to end, is so satisfying, so earned. He makes a change by the end of this film, but you go on this journey with him. You know, you're there every step of the way, and it's so appreciative. You know, the fact that he turns into a pseudo father throughout this film, having to care for this little young kaiju, and the fact that this kaiju, baby kaiju, imprinted on him and looks at him like a father, and so he has to raise this little kaiju and feed her and change her and raise her, and you know that journey that plays out throughout this film is so heartwarming. It is so beautifully displayed on screen. This is not a fantasy. I mean, look, well, it's a kaiju. It's a kaiju, but you strip away the kaiju part of it, the giant monster part of it, and you see this baby being cared for by this man who doesn't want it. You know, he didn't ask for this, but he's such a good person that he tries his best, and his private life outside of this superhero kaiju thing is affected by this. And you see how he's struggling with his normal life. You know, his baseball career is taking a dip. His relationships outside of the Ultraman persona is taking a dip. You know, he's not getting rest now. He's just struggling in every aspect of life. And in the meantime, he still has to fight kaijus. He still has to do his job, not only as Ultraman, but as Ken. And the struggle he has to go through to try to just get through the day. And as a father, I can speak to that. You know, it's like, granted, I don't fight giant monsters, um, but it feels like it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And it goes without notice sometimes. You know, so your family don't see that. It's just the normal thing. But as a father, it's hard. It is very hard. You know, going out here and working and you know, trying to provide for the family, making sure when you get home, if something goes wrong at the house, toilet stopped up, or the car's breaking down, or whatever the case may be, we have to jump on that. You know, after working 8, 10, 12 hours sometimes on a job, and come home and get right back to work, cutting the grass and all this other stuff after being in the heat all day. But anywho's, I'm going on a rant. But that's the whole point of this film, is to show that. And it was just beautifully written. Oh my God, this was a superbly written film. Oh man, this film, you know, throughout the movie, you're sitting there watching it like, man, who wasted their talent on an animated film like this, you know, writing this film. And this film like deserves to be a Academy Award worthy type studio film. And there's no knock on Netflix and the producers of this film. I'm just saying, like, a live action awards draw type film. That's the type of writing you would see here. This is some really good writing, and it's good in the aspect of it's adult, but not adult like vulgar and nudity and all that other stuff. No, it's not like that. But the situation, adult situations that takes place, and the children can still follow along. This is a true family film, and I had such a good time watching it with my girls. And you know, for them to recognize a lot of things, even though they didn't say it out loud, I wasn't expecting it, but it was what it was. They got the gist of it, but it was very emotional as well. I think tears were shed from one of my girls watching this movie, and it's understandable. It is some real deep subject matter that that hits home in a lot of people's house homes. So it's good to experience that as well. The voice acting, as I said, especially from Christopher Shane. Oh my God, this dude, this dude is amazing. Never heard of him before either. I gotta look him up and see what else he's done. Oh, beautiful job with the voice acting in this show, or in this movie, I should say. To whereas, once again, in my previous review of Inside Out, where I said that there were portions of that film I forgot that it was animation, it was the same thing here. I forgot it was animation, because of the amazing performances from these voice actors in this film. Not just Christopher Shane, but all the other actors, voice actors who lend their voices. The animation here is incredible. I can't compare it to any other film. I would love to compare it to kind of Spider-Verse type animation, but it's not Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse is like a mixture of 7 or 8 different animation styles throughout the film. But this is really one animation style, but I can't compare it to anything else. It is anime inspired, but it's Americanized, if that's a thing. But it still looks amazing. It respects, I think, both sides of the ocean here, and I appreciated it for that. I'm not a huge anime nut like my daughter is. I love certain animes. I grew up watching a lot of anime. I just kind of got away from it when I got older, but I still watch from time to time. I still watch My Hero Academia and shows like that, but it's not really my go-to, which is why I missed out on 44 film adaptations of this character, I guess. But I can honestly say this was a joy to watch. One of the best animated films. And look, this weekend was a bomb. It was the bomb for me because I got to watch Inside Out 2 and then come right back and watch Ultraman Rising back to back, basically. And it was an emotional roller coaster. It was a joy because those were 2 great films. Ultraman Rising gets a letter grade of an A. It was a joy. I enjoyed this from the opening frame to the final scene, even the little post or the mid-credit scene that we get in this film, which sets up the 45th film in this franchise. And I won't miss out on that. But I would like to know, have you checked out Ultraman Rising, which is currently on Netflix? Let me know. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel on YouTube and like this video if you don't mind. Also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of Ultraman Rising. Can't wait to speak to you on the next go round. Want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love everyone. And until we speak again, you all be blessed.